Just a few years ago, I think we can all agree that most of us were on the same page when it came to what content is appropriate for children, whether it be books or movies or cartoons, that we agreed that children, especially at a really young age, needed to have their innocence protected, that their minds were not developed enough to handle certain concepts, that there should be ratings on different things so that we knew kind of what was appropriate to put in front of our kids and what was not. We used to agree that having too much of a focus on sexuality at a young age was detrimental, or that adults having private conversations with kids about sexual ideas, about sexuality, was not okay, and that parents needed to be involved and to know what their children were being introduced to when they were not around. These are all things that we used to agree on. And we used to agree that vetting people, the people that come around our children and into our schools, was important, and that all children deserve to be protected from anybody that could potentially do them harm or want to prey on them. And we also used to agree that adults that were attracted to children really were in need of psychiatric help and did not belong anywhere within 100 miles of a school or any child in general. So these are all things that we used to agree on. And I never imagined a time when any of these things would be controversial and that I wouldn't be able to have a conversation in general without being labeled as a bigot or a phobic of some kind. We used to agree that school libraries really should have books that focused on character building messages and positive messages, and that graphic material had no place in our school libraries. And we used to agree that no sane parent would allow their child to dance on stage for money, or put their child on a pole with a stripper, or allow a child to attend an event or a parade where there were adults running around naked. Like, these are all things that we used to be pretty unified on. And like I said, I never imagined a time when parents who disagreed with these things would be labeled as bigots and discriminatory and phobics of some kind. I don't want my child protected from these things just because I vote a certain way. And I don't want your child to be less protected from them because you vote a certain way. I don't think that the development of our children and their well-being and their safety is dependent on what governor is saying what, or what message is coming from the White House. I feel like it's a pretty universal standard to say that certain things are just not appropriate for children, that children should just be allowed to be kids, and that they shouldn't have access to everything that adults have access to.